Today's consciousness talk is tools to expand your consciousness. And the reason why we're using that particular title is we're going to be covering a multitude of topics when it comes to the awakening, but uh, more than likely, I'm going to be focusing on meditation. And let me explain a little bit about this. The awakening that is going on in the world. So many of us are experiencing the spontaneous awakening, the shift in consciousness, and for many, it is very profound. It's like kind of like those aha moments, epiphany, if you want to call it, and it's very, how shall I say? It's a very powerful moment or moments that happen throughout our days, our weeks, our months as we're going through this process. For many, it only happens one time. There's like one day where you get this big aha moment. All of a sudden, you get the quote unquote download into your consciousness, and you understand so much more about our planet. You understand so much more about humanity, and the veil of the illusion kind of gets lifted, even if it's momentarily, or if it's for the rest of your life. It's one of those big moments. Now, as we are progressing and living the awakening, uh, many of us get lazy, and I was one of them. So I do have room to talk here. I was one of those people that got lazy and got so excited about the experience of awakening that I forgot it is a constant journey. It is not the end all. It is not the result. I know we don't know everything, that wonderful quote by Lao Tzu in the Tao, he who thinks he knows doesn't, and those who know they don't know do. And with that being said, because of the fact that we are having this awakening experience, or we have had the awakening experience, some of us tend to get a little bit lazy and think that no more work needs to be done. That is a very common way to look at it. It's like, okay, I felt it. That was great. Now I can just go back to living because I know everything. But we don't. I believe that with any practice, whether it be spiritual practice, whether it be tennis, whether it be cooking, whatever it is, we have to practice in order to really continue evolving and moving forward. So there comes a point where we must take responsibility for our awakening. Facebook posts or YouTube videos or going to that seminar or going to this seminar or watching that documentary, it's not enough. Yes, it's a great resource. Yes, you have a new way of looking at the world and you want a better quality, quote unquote, entertainment. But media and such is not the answer. It is a guide, it is a part of the awakening, but it's not the awakening. The awakening is not happening on Facebook. The awakening is not happening on Revolution Radio. The awakening is not happening on YouTube. The awakening is happening in your day to day life. So, as we are utilizing these tools, and don't get me wrong, it's wonderful that I have the show here on this wonderful radio network that offers these types of programming. These are the tools. They are tools. They are not the end all. Facebook could be a tool. You see a great article that gives you an aha moment. YouTube, you watch a video that gives you an aha moment. Revolution Radio, you hear a show that gives you an aha moment. But what I'm trying to stress here is that we have to bring it into our daily life. And we must take responsibility for our consciousness. Not Our consciousness is not just to look at a screen or to listen to music or whatnot. Our consciousness is with us 24/7. So taking responsibility for our consciousness can include many different things. And one of those things that I strive for and that I try to get across in my message to humanity is the practice, and it's a very common practice in many of the Eastern traditions, of mindfulness. And I know that's going to sound cliche, but as I continue this, you'll understand what I mean by that and why it is not cliche. Let me define what I feel is mindfulness. Mindfulness to me in my life means focusing on one thing at a time. And not being distracted by 8 different things, not multitasking. Many people, we perpetuate this society that multitasking is a great thing and to be productive and whatnot. The reality of it is that when you're multitasking, you're doing 8 things at once. There is no focus. I'm one of these people, and a lot of my friends don't like it because of that. If I'm doing something, I don't care if I'm washing a dish and the phone rings, I ignore it. I am washing a dish. If I am writing an email and the phone rings or someone's at the door, I'm sorry, I am writing an email. I will get to it when I'm done with this task. To me, mindfulness means being in the moment, being fully conscious of the task that is at hand, and doing that throughout your day, whether it be being fully conscious of the fact that you are getting out of bed and walking to your bathroom to brush your teeth, and then being fully conscious of the idea of brushing your teeth, being in the moment of, having that toothbrush in your mouth and cleaning your teeth, being in the moment of the steps that you take throughout the day. That to me is mindfulness. Not being an automatic pilot is another way of looking at it. One of the things that we do have as human beings, whether you are an awakened being or not, I go into automatic pilot mode on occasion myself when I'm not being fully aware of what I'm doing. I get distracted. I'm thinking about something else that's happening, but I'm folding the laundry, but I'm thinking about something else. We all do this. It's a very common thing within our human consciousness, and there isn't necessarily wrong with it because there is nothing wrong with being human, and I want to make that very clear. We are here in a human body. You are human. You are allowed to experience life as a human. To me, what mindfulness, consciousness, the awakening, and everything that I'm talking about here is about evolving that human experience of expanding the ability, the possibility, the infiniteness of our humanity, of our humanness. So automatic pilot is not necessarily a bad thing, but the reality of it is that it is a distraction from the moment that you are in. How many of us drive to work and get to work, and the next thing you're at work, and it feels like 5 seconds pass. Well, where have you been? You haven't been on the drive to work. You're worrying about grocery shopping tonight, or picking up the kids in the morning, or whatnot, thinking about what needs to be done, and that's a very common trait, especially in Western culture, of what's next. I have to do this. I have to do this, and not being within the moment. We see this very commonly. Very common example of this are those friends of ours, and I have many of them myself, who are constantly looking at their phone, waiting for the next text, waiting for the next Facebook message, waiting for the next tweet, waiting. What's next? What's next? Show me something more. Show me something more. Again, it's a part of the human experience. Is it mindfulness? No. Is it going to help us expand our consciousness? No. Is it going to help us, move forward on this path of awakening? No. Is it bad? Is it good? Well, it depends. But I do believe that we are allowed to experience it. We are where we are because that is where we exist at that moment. And those friends of ours that have the phones and are distracted, that's where they are. It's not my place to say, and it's not my place to take the phone out of their hand. It's like an addict. It's not up to the addict. It's not up to you to take the drugs out of the addict's hand. Nothing will change until the addict decides to make the change. So, I'm not going to think negatively or judgmental of people that are on automatic pilot, whether it be with their iPhone or whatnot. But going back to mindfulness, it is a part of our goal as those of us on the awakening path to be mindful, to be in the moment. I am speaking into a microphone right now. I am sitting in a chair right now. I have the window cracked right now. I can feel the 20-degree breeze coming through underneath. I'm very aware of my surroundings at this moment. I'm not worried about missing a phone call. I'm not worried about what I'm going to do after this broadcast. I'm here with you right now, paying attention to what I am doing right now. That is, to me, is the definition of mindfulness. Now, how do we get to a place where we can live in mindfulness? How do we do that? Does it come naturally? Is it just something we switch on in our brain? No, it's like everything else, it comes with practice. But the only way that I have known and I have seen within my experience of trying many different methodologies, many different practices, the only way that I see that I have made my mindfulness work that much clearer is through the practice of meditation. And I know everyone's like, "Oh God, are you going to talk about meditation again?" No, 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 no. That's not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to go into a cave and become a monk. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how you have to quiet your mind and empty your mind. No, this is not what this talk is about. Meditation comes in many different forms, and one of the things that I feel is lacking in the presentation of learning how to meditate is that many people make it very complicated. It's not that complicated. Meditation is a very simple technique, and there's many aspects of meditation, from the easiest of focusing your breath to the highest of going into a state of nirvana. But no matter where you are on the scale, from focusing on your breath to getting into a state of nirvana, you're still meditating. So no matter how these people teach it or whatnot, I feel we need to simplify it. And if we can make it more accessible to us on a day-to-day basis, we're going to meditate more. We're going to take action and be aware of our path and practice our path on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis, hopefully becoming more mindful and whatnot when it comes to that. I could go into a whole another 10 minutes on what the benefits of mindfulness is or what the benefits of meditation are, but I'm not going to go there today. I want to go right into uh, the idea of meditation, how to do it really easily, and how to let it be a part of your day-to-day life. It's not that tricky. It really is not that tricky. Let me ask you, and I know I'm not seeing the chat right now. I don't know if Treva will see any answers, but anybody out there, think about think about your day-to-day life and how often you are waiting. Think about that. How often are you waiting at a light, waiting for your friends to show up, waiting at the grocery store, waiting in a doctor's office, waiting? How often are we waiting throughout our day? We waiting is such a part of our culture. Many places have waiting rooms. How many places have waiting rooms? It's very much a part of our culture. So we could be waiting for a bus. We could be waiting to get into a concert. We could be waiting in line. Waiting is a part of our day-to-day lives for a majority of us, especially in Western culture. There is a wonderful campaign out there, and I forgot who's doing it, but I definitely endorse it, and I'm going to talk about it. It's called Don't Wait, Meditate. Yes. Imagine all of that time that you spend on your day to day life waiting. And imagine all that time that you waste waiting, being utilized to do simple breathing meditation. Simple breathing meditation, quieting your mind, focusing on your breath. Imagine how you could answer your friends when they say, "Oh, how many times did you meditate today?" "Oh, I meditated 3 times. I was meditating while I was waiting in line at the store, meditating while I was waiting for the bus, and meditating when I was waiting for my friend to call me." Meditation doesn't have to be a 2-hour long process. Meditation doesn't even have to be, the common thing we hear is that, we should meditate at least 20 minutes a day. Well, you can meditate at least 20 minutes a day. You may just not be able to do it all at once. You can do it 3 minutes here, 5 minutes there. It's the practice. And again, I'm not talking about the practice of meditation. I mean, practicing meditation. You practice 3 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 20 minutes there. That's great. If you can go up to an hour, that's wonderful. Good for you. But don't wait. Meditate. There's no excuse. It's very simple and it's very easy. I'd like to, we're coming up on a break, and I'd like to get started on the how-tos of all this. But actually, let me jump in. Let me start from here. The idea of breathing, and of course, that is how you'll want to meditate while you're waiting. You just want to do a simple breathing meditation. You don't want to get so out of it while you're waiting at a light or waiting in the traffic jam that you don't notice what's going on around you. The purpose of Don't Wait, Meditate is to just quiet your mind and again bringing you into the moment. Um, this idea of breathing properly, and what I mean by proper breath, I'm going to give you an example of that now, and hopefully you'll do it with me. So let's do this all together. What I'd like you to do right now is literally just calm down for a moment. Allow yourself to feel your body, be comfortable, and just be here in the moment and listen to my voice. If you can, if you're not doing something dangerous like driving or holding something sharp, what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes for a moment. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place our left hand on our belly. And by placing your left hand, while placing your left hand in your belly, what I'd like you to do is to take a deep breath in through your nose, and I want you to feel your belly, not your chest. I want you to see that left hand rise a little bit. So let's do that. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose, into our belly, gently pausing, and then exhaling. And again, let's do that again. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose. Feeling the belly, pausing, and gently exhaling. Now, just one more time. Make sure we got it. Take a deep breath in through our nose. Feel the belly, sensing the left hand rise. Pause and exhale. This is a wonderful way to alter your state of consciousness. I'm sure you notice immediately how your consciousness has changed. Your thoughts begin to slow down. Your body begins to relax. The idea of taking a deep breath in, inhaling, pausing, exhaling, and then the space between is the very fundamental aspect, is a very loose aspect, or I should say directly. What am I saying? It's a direct aspect of the Aum. A-O-M, silence. When the Aum is described, it is the opening, the pausing, the closing, and then the space in between the Aum. It also represents the thought. The thought rises, the thought zeniths, gets to the apex, the thought begins to go away, and then there's a space between the thought. The breath, there's the inhale, there's the pause, there's the exhale, and then there's a space between the breaths. It's a great way to layer on imagery, the Aum, the breath, the thoughts. As I speak about quite a bit, the idea of meditation is to go to the place between the thoughts. The idea of meditation is to expand the place between the thoughts, and that does come with practice. It's not easy. If you can do it the first time, that's wonderful. But don't get frustrated, don't get aggravated if you can't expand the quiet place between the thoughts. That's not what this talk is today. Today, we are going to use simple tools. And the first one being the deep inhale through the nose, filling the belly, pausing, and gently exhaling. This is not only a wonderful way to alter your state of consciousness, this is a great tool, and you hear it all the time when people are getting upset. Everyone, they say it sarcastically, take a breath, oh man, you need to take a breath, take a breath, take a deep breath. This is how you do it. This is the literal term. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your belly, pausing and exhaling. Like I said earlier, this is that cliche of taking a breath. Now, many times throughout the day you need to take a breath when you're getting frustrated, when you're getting angry, when you're getting anxious, when you're about to react in a negative way. This is literally the breath that is being spoken of. Taking the deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly, pausing, and gently exhaling. You will notice it immediately will change and alter your state of consciousness. Now, let's move on a little bit. I was talking earlier about don't wait, meditate. Now, taking the deep breath is a great way, as I said, to get started, to alter your state of consciousness, to get yourself out of your head and into the moment. What I'd like to do now is to teach you a very simple breath meditation. Very, very simple. When you're waiting in line, when you're waiting at the bus, when you're waiting in a traffic jam, and you're going to do a meditation that is still going to let you be aware of what's going on around you. And actually, this could be your main meditation practice at home if that's what you choose to do. It's a very simple form of Zen meditation. Now, we can go into the whole definition of Zen meditation and the benefits of that, but I would suggest, please Google Zen meditation if you would like to learn more about that. But this is a very simple form of Zen meditation, and it can be done anywhere, anytime. As I said earlier, we take the deep breath. We do that about 2 or 3 times. And by taking the deep breath, filling our belly, pausing, and exhaling, as I said, it will alter your state of consciousness. But once we've done that, we just want to allow our normal breathing rhythm to come back. And within the normal breathing rhythm, and we're going to do this together. So while you're listening to my voice, why don't you close your eyes? If you're not doing anything dangerous, please. No sharp objects or while you're in the midst of driving. But if you can, close your eyes right now. Let's take that deep breath through our nose, filling our belly, pausing, and gently exhaling. And now just go back to your normal breathing rhythm and allow yourself to breathe naturally, keeping your eyes closed. And what I'd like you to do now is I want you to count your breaths up to 5. Starting now, just watch your breath. Just watching your breath with your mind. Count your breaths up to 5. And I'm hoping most of you have already done this up to 5 now. And what you can do when you are, again, waiting, don't wait, meditate, begin to expand on this. Begin to count the breath up to 10, up to 15, up to 20. And as you get higher in number, you are going to notice that your mind is going to begin to drift off into other directions. So if your mind does begin to drift off into other directions, just allow yourself to go to a lower number, whatever works for you. If you can only count up to 5 breaths, quietly and still paying attention to your breath, just count to 5. Let's do that again right now. Let's go ahead. Let's take that deep breath, filling our belly, pausing, and gently exhaling. And again, allowing the regular breathing rhythm to come back. And begin to count your regular breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can continue to do this. Again, I mean, I know I'm going to repeat myself. You can go up to 10, to 15, to 20. And guess what? You were just meditating. Simple as that. Meditation is not difficult. It's as simple as closing your eyes and counting your breaths in a regular breathing rhythm, focusing on breath. You can do this for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. You don't need to be at home with the lights off, with the candles lit, with the incense burning and the Enya music playing in the background. Yes, that's all nice and that's all lovely. You don't need to be at a yoga studio. You don't need to be in a cave. You don't need to be at a monastery. You could be waiting in line at Kroger. Just take a deep breath, close your eyes, and count your breaths. You have meditated. As what you will notice, now I'll talk a little bit about the benefits of this. What you will notice is that after doing this for so long, some people, 5 days, 5 minutes, 5 years, however long it takes, you are going to start reaping the benefits of it. And one of those benefits, and is actually the goal of many of us that are on the awakening path, many of us who have had the spiritual awakening, is the ability to alter your state of consciousness at will. When I first got involved in this path, 20, 30, God, how old am I now? 30 years ago, geez, 30 years ago, my teacher said to me, the goal of the shaman, I was training with a shaman, he said, the goal of the shaman is to have your foot on every plane of consciousness at once and have the ability to alter your state of consciousness at will. Imagine that. Imagine being able to alter your state of consciousness at will without the use of drugs, without the use of a sensory deprivation tank or incense and Enya or a guided meditation. You're doing it at will at the moment you choose to do it. Taking a deep breath. You are altering your state of consciousness at will. That is your choice, but it will become easier and easier and easier. What are the benefits of altering our state of consciousness at will? Well, that could be a whole nother show, but let's start off with the fact that there is less negative reaction in our lives when we can alter our state of consciousness at will. When we are not reactive, things, our life becomes easier, more peaceful. When we are living in a state of consciousness, when we are being proactive, where I don't want to say we are in charge, but we are guiding our consciousness from the inside versus allowing the external world to guide our consciousness. That, to me, is what I call true individual, true spiritual sovereignty. We talk a lot about sovereignty and on this path and on this radio station. We talk about personal sovereignty, not being programmed, not being intimidated, not being tricked into following one certain way, but to think for ourselves, not reacting from the outside, proacting from the inside, guiding our stream of consciousness through our individual internal, call it divine will, call it spiritual will, call it your will. That is a goal for many of us on this particular path, and I hope it's a goal for many of you listening, to be a sovereign consciousness, not easily manipulated, not easily distracted, not easily reactive to what is going on externally. That is a part of the benefits of this particular type of work. And that as we continue down this path and as we continue doing this particular practices, you will find yourself in what I was speaking about earlier of mindfulness, of being in the moment, of not being distracted, of enjoying your consciousness in that place where you are right now. And it's very interesting. You'll find that many people like to be distracted. We talked about this a little bit earlier. There is an addiction of distraction going on in our society. There is a certain, I don't know how to call it. It's an addiction. People are addicted to being distracted, whether it's by TV, whether it is by radio, whether it's by music. There seems to be a fear of being alone with our thoughts. There seems to be a fear of being alone within ourselves, of really connecting with who we are. But once you've had this awakening, once you are on the path of awakening, once you're evolving to transcend all the garbage, all of the garbage of illusion that is around us, um, the goal is to go within. The goal is to change the world outside by changing what's going on inside. And I know so many people will disagree, and that's fine, but I know. And once you've actually gone inside and have begun to change what's going on inside, you notice that everything begins to change for you, for your community, and for the world on the outside. Imagine a world where everyone is doing this. Imagine a world where every individual is in touch and is guiding their consciousness instead of reacting to the Donald Trumps and Alex Joneses and David Icke's of the world. Don't get me wrong, everyone has their place, but so much of it is reaction. So little of it truly stems from us internally. So little of it is guided by us. Yet it is a part of our consciousness. And lastly, we've only got about 15 minutes left. I wanted to share with you, so many of us have a very difficult time relaxing. What I'm going to talk about now is a little bit more involved, a little bit more than just waiting. Don't wait, meditate, just focusing on breath. But it all leads up to it. If I had to say what would be the next step is to learn how to relax, how to allow your body to relax, to re-energize, to recharge. Um, Relaxation seems to be, a scarce commodity these days. I hear so many people say, "I don't have time to relax. There's no way I can relax. I relax when I sleep, or I relax when I drink, or I relax when I'm watching TV." That's not relaxing. That's being distracted from life. Not participating does not mean relaxing. But what I would like to do, and the reason why I share this particular technique, and I may not have time to do the entire thing here, so I may have to do a short version of it. But the reason why I feel, and I call it the full body relaxation technique, and why I feel it is so important is, again, going back to that mindfulness, to get out of our head. So many of us are living in our head. if we can allow ourselves to go into our body, to feel our body, there seems to be this idea that this awakening process is to, out of body experience and meditate and leave my body and leave the planet and ascend. And no, 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 no. It's to transcend the separation. It's to move beyond the duality. And with that being said, the idea of getting into our body and becoming one with our body and relaxing our body again is about um, con- guiding. I don't want to say the word control, but guiding our consciousness. And by guiding our consciousness within our body then can begin to heal, and thus our body. As our body begins to heal, our emotions, our mind, and our spirit begin to heal. And what I'd like to do now is I'm going to do a short version of this full body relaxation. So if you're with me, why don't you go ahead and let's close our eyes. Please sit in a very comfortable position. If you're listening to the archive and you have the ability to press pause, go pause this, lay down. If you can lay down, it would be better if you can lay down. But if you can't, just sit down in a comfortable position and close your eyes. And let's start off with that deep breath. Let's take that deep breath, filling our nose, through our nose, filling our belly. Pausing and gently exhale. Again, taking another deep breath in through our nose, filling our belly. Pausing and gently exhale. And now I'd like you to guide your attention to your feet. Just bring your consciousness down to your feet. Feel your feet. Feel your toes. Feel the balls of your feet, your heels, your ankles. And now feel them becoming very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. And now bringing our consciousness up to our calves, feeling the muscles, feeling the bones, the blood vessels, the veins, feeling the entire area of the calves becoming very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. Now bringing our attention to our knees, up to our thighs, feeling the muscles in our thighs, our bones, our veins, the blood becoming very warm, very heavy, very, very relaxed. And bringing our attention now to our hips, our buttocks, our groin, our genitals, feeling all the muscles, all the bones, the veins, the blood becoming very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. Bringing now our attention to the base of our spine, around the front to our belly, the bottom of our belly, bringing our attention up to the middle of our back, our abdomen, feeling all the bones, the blood, and the muscles in this area becoming very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. And now bringing our attention to our upper back, our shoulders, around front to our chest, our pectoral muscles, our ribs, feeling all the muscles, all the bones, all the blood and veins becoming very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. Now, bringing our attention to our upper arms, both biceps, both triceps, down to our elbows, our forearm, our wrist, our palm, our fingers and our fingertips, and all the muscles, all the bones, the veins, the blood, feeling very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. Now bringing our attention to the base of our neck, the back of our head, the top of our head, our brow, our cheeks, and our jaw, feeling all the muscles, all the bones, the blood and the veins becoming very warm, very heavy, and very, very relaxed. Now I'd like you to scan your body, feel your body down from your toes, moving up to the top of your head, being one with your body, connecting with your body, feeling relaxed. And allow yourself to feel this relaxation and carry this relaxation with you as you come back to where you are, beginning to wiggle your toes, your fingers.